Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Props of the Week. Once again, you got me, King of Crackdown, with Prosmo Bets, giving you our props of the week. And in this edition, we'll be doing props of the week for UFC Fight Night, Tsarukyan versus Hooker. And quick video. Let's get right into it. First prop of the week is Arman Tsarukyan by sub at plus 330. So he's been doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, in his time away from the cage because, whatever happened with that, maybe you could go do the research when he fell out of the main event with Makhachev. He had a title shot, messed that up. But I think he had at least 2-3 grappling matches with some pretty decent grapplers, pretty decent fighters as well, like Ben Henderson, former UFC lightweight champion, one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Obviously past his prime, but still the fact that he was able to submit him, how he submit him, again, it's showing you the improvements in his technical skills. Now he fought Patricky Pitbull in the grappling match, submitted him as well. So he's been showing some submission skills. And it's not like, these guys might not be pure BJJ studs, like as far as like the world, like they may not be in their prime, they might not be this, that, but the fact to submit these guys that have that skill, and these guys had went in there with some credible BJJ guys, beat some credible BJJ guys. So it's not like he just beating old UFC fighters. Like again, obviously not beating them in their prime or old Bellator fighters, not beating them in their prime or nothing. But the fact that he's doing what he's doing to them, and the fact that obviously when you're going in there to do that, you're training a lot of BJJ to even go there. So it's like he just going there, just get off the couch. He's clearly training hard. He was clearly training hard for Islam Makhachev. So I think Arman is going to be the best we've ever seen him. He's still getting better. He's still young. He's training hard. He looks physically bigger and stronger than he's ever looked. Definitely a lot since he last had a UFC fight. So I think Arman will come in here very prepared. He's going against Hooker, who we have got submitted by Islam very early in that fight once he got taken down. And I don't think, as far as anybody with the level of grappling that Arman has and Islam has, I don't think he hasn't really fought no one and beat no one of that caliber. And I don't think this is going to be a different story for Hooker here. I feel like Arman is going to have that striking as well. I mean, Hooker would be the better striker, I think, pure striker. But I think Arman can hold his own with Hooker on the feet. And I think Arman could break Hooker down, of course. I think Hooker never really shown to be a good fourth round, fifth round fighter. But yeah, I'm doing too much. Yeah, I'm doing a prediction video instead of just a prop video. But basically, yeah, Arman's been working on his BJJ. Hooker has been exploiting his BJJ. And I think Arman's going to be able to mix up on the feet, get it to the ground, break him down, and submit him, whether it be early or late. I think a submission is there. And the potential of it is. And plus 330, I think that's good odds. And I think Arman does need to make a statement, after falling out of the fight with Islam in the title fight. So he has to make a statement here. He can't just come out here and just have some lackluster decision or end up losing here. He needs to win and win big. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think he does it by sub plus 330. And next one, we got Yakiev versus, not Yakiev. I'm doing prediction talking. But yeah, Yakiev by KO versus, minus 175 against Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan's been knocked out in 3 of his 4 UFC fights in the first round or second round, brutally, not just standing TKO. I think one of them was a standing TKO, but he was getting wobbled. You could clearly see it wasn't he just stand up defending and they stop no, you're getting knocked around on your feet. That's the same difference. Yeah, I understand there's a standing TKO, you just getting this, you're not defending yourself, and the standing TKO when you're going out of unconscious on your feet as well. So he's been knocked out flat. He's been knocked out standing on his feet. His last fight, whatever case may be. But Yakiev is a pretty solid fighter. He has good striking. And I think he'll be able to touch Tsarukyan's chin and get him out of there early or late. I think his path to victory is by KO. So minus 175, it's not crazy value by any means, but I think it's a very, very likely outcome. And I think it's hard to see anyone but Yakiev win this fight. So Yakiev by KO minus 175, the fighter that should win, and the method that he should win by minus 175. And that's based on those things. I think those are a very good value for that value. Next one, I got Aliev via decision minus 125. So Shamrock's a solid fighter and all. But if people talk about, he fought good competition outside of, there's not really no good competition where he's fighting. There's okay competition, but ain't really no stellar competition. He ain't really fought no great wrestlers, no great grapplers. I think Aliev has fought much better competition. And Shamrock, just has not done nothing that impressive. I feel like he's a big weight cutter, good frame and stuff, good overall skill set. But I don't really feel like he has anything that should be too big of an issue for Aliev. I think Aliev should be able to, take him down and dominate him on the ground, or at least take him down and blanket him very well. So Aliev by decision at minus 125. I think that's a good value. Yeah, so you damn near getting plus 100, minus 125, likely outcome. Also look at where they are in the region. If it goes to a decision, close decision, it's still going to go to Aliev's way. But I still think it should be a clear decision. Aliev getting takedowns, controlling the fight, and winning the decision over Shamrock. So minus 125, again, for the likely fighter and the likely outcome, combine those two, you get very good odds, or pretty good odds, minus 125, Nurullo Aliev by decision. Next one, we got Volkan Oezdemir by KO at plus 120. Along the midfield, he's on a 2-fight winning streak, or a 2-fight split decision streak, we've been honest. I feel he lost his first fight on this winning streak. The second fight, Omar C just really didn't step on the gas at any point in the fight. I guess he just thought he was gonna get a gifted win, like if he just showed up and he didn't really press. But either way, I was not. A lot of Minifield really won those fights based off experience. It wasn't like he was so much more skilled than his opponents or so much. It was experience. These guys that are young in the UFC, hadn't really tasted. Matter of fact, hadn't tasted defeat in their careers. And again, when you're young and undefeated, you feel like I'm the A side. If I go in here and do enough, they're gonna give it to me because I'm young and undefeated. And Minifield's like this guy who's clearly towards the end of his career, so they're gonna give it. They start playing scripts in their head and they don't commit fully. And even then, I still feel like he really could have lost both the fights and really should have lost both those fights if we've been honest. Because what is Minifield going to do in his career? Get knocked out by the same people again? He's not improving if we're being honest, and he's like pushing 40. But yeah, going and walking Uzmir, he won't have the experience advantage, and I think he actually still is older than Uzmir. So Uzmir is younger than him and more experienced, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And Uzmir has improved a lot in his wrestling. It's not like Minifield even is a wrestler. To be honest, he has improved on that a bit, but not enough. I think Uzmir will address the wrestling. Minifield still shows very low fight IQ a lot in his career. And yeah, I think Uzmir is a much more technical striker, much sharper striker, and should be able to draw out those sloppiness of a Minifield to knock him out. I really see it in the first round knockout for Uzmir, but knockout, this general KO at plus 120, I think that's a good value. So I could be first round, second round, third round. But either way, I see Uzmir knock him out, and I think that's a great value. So Uzmir by KO at plus 120. Then next one and final one, we got Luke Riley by KO at plus 130. Um,
Wow.
I feel like this is the least likely one to hit, but you never know. Sometimes the least likely one to be one hitting. Um, Luke Riley got some slick striking, got some good power, and Bowden Grad can be there to be hit. And with his length and his speed and his youth, I feel like he'll be able to catch Bowden Grad here and put him out. Yeah, Bowden Grad is a solid fighter, but it's just like he's kind of one of those fighters that's he's good all around, but not special anywhere. And I feel like Luke Riley can take advantage of that and just be more dynamic, more creative, find those openings and crack him with a big shot and put him out at some point in this fight. So Luke Riley by KO at plus 130. I like that prop. So the props again, Armand by sub at plus 330, Yakiev by KO at minus 175, Aliev by decision at minus 125, Uzdemir KO at plus 120, and Luke Riley by KO at plus 130. And how do you feel about these props, Prosmo?
Yeah, man, fire, bro. Especially the Armin one by submission. Plus 330 has a lot of value. Dan Hooker, man, he fractured his orbital with Jalen Turner, had hand surgery. Suddenly, he's booked with Justin Gaethje. Subsequent surgery on that because the mobility issues were not working out for him. They had to inject bone marrow into him. I mean, he's been a mess, bro. It's weird too, like the way his arm arches now. It's like his wrist arches. And so I think that Armin is set up, like you said, in a perfect spot for a finish. And then minus 175 on Sikiev, right? Relentless. We seen him his showcase on Contender Series. He's looked great. I have no doubts at minus 175 that he'll get a finish. Nuri Liev, uh, how do you say his last name? The Eagle
Aliev.
Tajiki. What
Yeah,
what is it?
I think his last name easier than his first name. His last name just Aliev.
Yeah, Aliev, man. Yeah, you're right about blanketing, man. That's really how he's gonna get it done. But he has a great ground and pound. So definitely at minus 125, a good decision. That's gonna be a tough fight as well. And usually when you match make these guys this way, it always goes to the full distance. So a good showcasing. Hopefully he could show us his stand up a little bit. That would be great. And then you had the plus 120. Right. Who's
Yeah,
the fourth spot?
yeah. The fourth one is really that's the fifth one. Well, Uzman is KO'd, and the last one's Riley KO.
Uzdemir KO, man, on Alonzo, and you are very adamant. You're pretty motivated about the round one. So I'm looking forward to that fight now because you capped it that way. So there's definitely value on there, man. And of course, the last pick with Riley, man. Yeah, he's also much taller. Talking about frame and all his proportions, he came in pretty tall, man. So we'll see what happens there. I'm looking forward to that. You said the fight ends right by KO.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Riley
that's
by
at
KO.
plus 120.
Yeah.
Let's get this money, baby. Let's go.
Yep. So those again have been the props of the week for UFC Fight Night. Siakarin versus Hooker. Props again are Arman by sub at plus 330, Yakiev KO at minus 175, Aliev decision at minus 125, Uzdemir by KO at plus 120, and Luke Riley by KO at plus 130. So again, those are the props. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Support me, support Pro Smo, and yeah, just keep the numbers going up, and we'll keep these props coming up. So again, thanks for watching. Peace out.